Well, my finish is excellent. So I just have to get my start better. And from my start is better, finish is going to better, faster times. Congratulations, Ron, and see you in Budapest. Never?
That is just excellent. Here is the race again, Bruce. Lift your knees. That's good instructions. Lift your knees, and that's what he did. I mean, nobody would have bet on Ron Watson except for Paul Francis before the national championship. And Paul Francis and I obviously are in a number of WhatsApp groups together. And somebody in the group said, "Hey, I think Ron Watson could drop a sub 10 at trials." And Paul was like, "Well, yeah, let's see, Well, he just did it twice, 998 last evening and a big 991 right now.
Well, had I run 991 for the first time and a reporter says, "How fast can you go?" I would go, "Huh?" You didn't see what I did just now, but he says he could do 98. Excellent. And again, the crowd, folks, you're not seeing it now, but the crowd at the finish line, it's almost like the entire grandstand is down there because we've seen outstanding races.
It's why we run the races, so that the human element of lifting your knees, doing what people think you can't do, proving people wrong can come to the fore. And again, Jamaican men sprinting, bouncing back up to where it used to be because now you have no Jelani Walker, 10 flat last year, 10:09 today.
Yeah.
Brilliant team.
I'm sure you're not surprised because you actually said he could win the race. But did the 991 surprise you?
We expected sub 10, but 991 is not only fast, but you beat Oblique Seville, who's coming back from injury. You beat Akeem Blake, who has run 989 this year. So those are names that you expected to be very close to the front. And the impressive thing Hubert Lawrence will tell you is that when you go to the World Championship, he may not have to run as fast as he has at these national championships. In the first round, Ron walked around 998. At the World Champs, you could run 10-1. You can qualify for the semis with 10-1, then run at 998, and then he comes back and runs 991.
Since you brought it up, let's go to the World Championship. I mean, I think on the women's side, and I'm not here to say no one could beat our ladies, but how are we looking for the men here? Bruce?
The fastest men in the world this year, and some of them will not be running the 100 meters at the World Champs. Zarnel Hughes, who trains with racers here in Jamaica, 983. Omanalala of Kenya, he has run 984. Fred Curley, defending world champion, has run 988. And then Akeem Blake, who is not currently on the list to run at the World Championship, has run 989. So, and then we have to see what happens in the U.S. trials now, because remember, though Fred Curley will be running, we need to know they're 1, 2, 3 at US.
1, 2, 3 in the World Champs last year. Marvin Gracie, second. He's out of the US trials already. The world champion is Fred Curley, undefeated this season, and so far has looked like the man to beat, really. So let's see what happens at the US trials when it finishes in the 100 meters and make the comparison. But Jamaica looks pretty strong.
And the point is, at 991, you're in with a show. Because again, the US is the biggest factor. They're the 1, 2, 3 last year with Oblique Seville 4. The top man in the world, though, lives and trains in Jamaica, Zarnel Hughes, 983. Interestingly enough, again, all credit to Coach Glenn Mills. Zarnel Hughes was getting beaten by Akeem Blake all season, and then he just turned it around in New York. Also,
and then said he hasn't started speed working.
and also we're not
Coach Mills.
And also we're not in the middle of July yet, so you suspect that people will improve. You said Oblique Seville coming back from injury,
right?
So he might be much better going through.
If we know Coach Mills well, Oblique Seville will be even better by the time he gets to the end of August.
Right.
So we're not worried about that. I think we should, and Hubert, forgive me for this, but I really think we have to give a shout out to the MVP coaches. MVP first on the women's side, first on the men's side. That's the first in a long time since MVP has won both men and women 100 meters.
Heard some stories about early morning 90-meter repeats across by State of East. So we knew, as I said, John saw them coming.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the last event. It will be more than one race. We're doing the 400s here. There they are getting ready out there. Some people have got up at the end of the 100 meters and said, well, goodbye. I don't need to see anything.
I really feel, Burtis, that this should have been the end of the meet.
And you said it. Do the 400s. And
to run our qualifying races, even though in an event as compelling as the 400, that goes down a bit emotionally. But here we go.
Morton, Wilson, Bailey, Gay, Prince, Hutchinson, Anderson. I'm just very happy that you guys are finally on my street now. I've always said the 100 meters should be the last race of every meet because it's
No,
the most.
I mean,
No, I understand. I mean, I tell
but
Bruce
certainly
it's all
today,
about.
I mean, you're on a high at 991, at 1065. You're on a high. Why go down from there?
No, I mean, and I understand, and because of the rounds, and some people are doing the 200s and stuff, it has to be done the way it's done at the World Championships, and when you get the first day of the 100 meters, I just think, I still think it should be at the end. Again, a huge crowd, and that's not necessarily good because you want the other athletes to be concentrating on what they're doing, so you don't want to be stepping over people here. You've come to run a race, so they really should clear down just by the end, which is the start of the 400s. But they really should try to clean up that. I mean, that just looks like one big party's going on down there.
Yeah.
And I really think that you need to give the athletes an opportunity to get themselves ready.
I'm not sure people actually know because typically Friday night at the trials finishes with the 100 final.
Yeah.
And so that's what's normal.
Yeah.
And this is abnormal.
Yeah.
I'd like you, Hubert Lawrence, to tell us now that we have 302 sub-10s. That is, well, 303 because 996 by Raheem Ford. We have to give a big shout out to that. He has never gone sub-10 before. 996 puts him in the argument. Just trains overseas, used to run for Jamaica College. 996. Big performance.
Let me run back just a bit and spare a thought for Elaine Thompson here. Didn't make the 100-meter team.
The worry was that because of the injuries and difficulties, she told us about that JC a couple of weeks ago, that wouldn't be enough for her to run 3 fast races in a tournament in a short space of time. And I think we've seen that. It does show she still does have world-class speed, but has to. We have
What
to
was her
wish
time?
1106.
1106, so which is a season's best for her. When 1109 in heats, I rather recall, Bruce. So she just has to find her way back to full fitness and then unleash that top speed again.
Yep. I'm repeating myself here, folks, but I wish the officials would really clear the track. And here, people.
So Elaine, since you raised her name,
Yep.
Neville, has a couple of decisions to make. Number one decision, she has to decide that she run the 200 meters tomorrow.
Right.
Hubert, you can share your views on that. Number two, she has to decide, will she accept an invitation by the J3As to run as an alternate on the relays? Because right now, she is the 6th rank on our 4x1, meaning Shelley would be number 1 simply because she's a defending world champion.
Yep.
Then Sharika, then Sasha Lee, then Natasha, then Brianna.
Yep.
And so the 6th ranked 100-meter runner for Jamaica now is Elaine Thompson Hero. Does she accept that invitation to run as a relay alternate, perhaps in the heats?
She's entered in the 200. She goes back to the backfield. They begin that warming down and process. How does she feel tomorrow morning? Does she feel bouncy and fresh? Does she want to battle for a spot at 200 because that now is the only individual spot left available to her?
As you can see, folks, the number of empty seats, because a lot of folks actually got up at the end of the 100 meters and left. Brianna Williams came on very strong in the semi-final, came 3rd, and came on strong here again and just missed the podium, didn't she?
It's just that you're a Jamaican.
Yeah.
She would likely, in my view, been in the Eugene final had she been any other nationality but Jamaica or maybe USA. But 10.94 last year, personal best here, and you missed the team. It's a tough job.
But she came on very late, just as she did in the semi-final.
Yeah.
I guess that can be corrected.
The coaches do that, and Michael Frater and Gregory Little have been doing magic there at Titans. Well, let's give you some numbers. Sharika Jackson, 10.65 personal best. Sasha Lee Forbes, 2nd, 10.96 personal best. Natasha Morrison, 10.98 season's best. Brianna Williams, 11.01 season's best. Elaine Thompson Hero, 5th, 11.06 season's best. Ashanti Moore, 11.06 personal best. Alana Reed, 11.10. Is that an underperformance? 10.92 her personal best, came in as the 2nd fastest Jamaican, still is the 2nd fastest Jamaican this year. And then Shakoria Wallace fell back to 11.21, but did an 11.19 in the heat. So a spectacular set of performances by these athletes, either on a personal best or season best basis.
In other words, I was right.
Well, you want us to do it for the men?
Yes, go ahead. Let's see.
Rowan Watson, 991 personal best,
Yeah.
10th fastest Jamaican in history, equal with Kishane Thompson, who was all the talk last evening.
Bruce,
Second,
not the Kishane Thompson.
uh,
Why didn't he run tonight?
Kishane Thompson, as a precaution, the coaches decided that it is better to protect the athlete than take the risk of having him run tonight. They have accepted that by not running him in the final, in the semis and the final, he cannot represent Jamaica in the open 100 meters. But Kishane Thompson may very well be the second fastest Jamaican man or the fastest Jamaican man by the time we get to the World Championships, and having competed here at the National Championships, is available to represent Jamaica in the relays.
I've gotten to understand that he was feeling some cramps as well, Bruce. Can you confirm that?
No, I can't confirm that. What I can confirm is that the coaches made the decision that they wanted to protect the athlete
Safety first.
and as a precaution, and at no point were the coaches saying, oh, well, he ran fast, so let him run in the open 100. They've accepted, but he's so fast, put him on the relay team.
Look at that gentleman. I haven't seen him for a while.
Is he still Donkey Man or is he Javon Francis?
Well, he was always Javon Francis, I think. I haven't seen him for a while. Good to see him.
But on the men's side, Ron Watson, we're saying personal best. Ryan Ford, 996, personal best. Oblique Seville, 10.00, not a personal best or season best. Akeem Blake, also not a personal best, season best at 10.01. Taekwondo Tracy, 10.09, must be a season's best. Michael Campbell, 10.13, just off his personal best of 10.07 and season best of 10.08. Kadrian Golson, after doing the 9.94 last evening as his personal best, faded to 7th in 10.29 out of lane
I thought
8.
he got isolated in lane 8 because lane 7 was empty because of the absence of
Jelani Walker.
Jelani Walker. And even though it is a straight race, sometimes you feed off your competitors. Missed the start and was chasing this race full of season's best anyway. So unfortunate, great breakthrough for him this season. Lowers his personal best for the 5th year in a row, and good things lie ahead for him.
Well, if you choose 8 men for our relay pool, hypothetically, I say these 7 and Kishane Thompson. You know, just hypothetically, if you are allowed 8, and I can share with you, the MVP Track and Field Club will leave for Europe on Monday, and these athletes are going to be competing. Now, right now, Ron Watson and Kishane Thompson are both in the top 10 in the world. They can get a lane in almost any meet. So here we are looking at the 400 meters men. There are going to be 6 heats. And so this is the opening round. If they started on the outside, it should have been DeAndre Anderson from Clemson University. Marcus Hutchinson would have been in lane 7. Gregory Prince, formerly of, say it for me, Hubert, St. Jago. Demishke, former national champion here, represents Sprint Tech. He is in lane number 5, 552. Sean Bailey at 676 has gone sub 45 this year. Very close relative to Veronica Campbell-Brown. He is her brother.
Asini Wilson is not there. This is Emil Gordon from MVP.
And Emil represents MVP. He's 21 years old. And we're going to talk about ages soon because both Kishane Thompson, who will have his birthday next week.
On your mark.
And in fact, we almost missed Hubert Lawrence's birthday.
So Gordon in 2, no one in 3, Bailey in 4, Gay in 5, Prince in 6, Hutchinson in 7, and Anderson in 8.
I heard Hubert Lawrence speaking earlier about the people who will have birthdays this weekend, like Sharika Jackson,
not hearing anything.
16th of July.
16.
And that Buju Banton is the 15th of July.
And Wade Van Niekerk.
But the only person that I really know was born on the 15th of July is Hubert Lawrence. Happy birthday when it comes, sir.
Rolling in.
With all the drama that we have enjoyed in the 100 meters, I think the starters themselves are now getting ready for the 400 meters. We're hearing Lonnie Watts. The World Championship qualifying standard is an amazing 45 seconds.
Demishke on screen, twice World Championship finalist, Pan Am Silver, has gone 45.32 this season, and his times are going downward towards the 45-second threshold.
Men's 400 meters. Heats first of 5. The top 4 in each heat, plus the next 4 best times. will move to the next round. Gordon, Bailey, Gay, Prince, Hutchinson, and Anderson. Sean Bailey, the favorite, runs out of lane 4. Sad, fastest Jamaican this year. Set position, sent on the way now, and a clean start. Bailey is up on the bout quite early, so too with Demish Gay, looking to round the rivals early. Gregory Prince, the young Turk, is moving well down the backstretch, but Gay, Prince, and Bailey has them well measured at this stage. Sean Bailey, Demish Gay, and Prince is up there as well. On the outside, running like a scared here, DeAndre Anderson from Clemson University being gobbled up now. Demish Gay steps forward now, takes command, coming under pressure now from Sean Bailey. And Anderson is trying to fight back. Sean Bailey, Gay. And in the final analysis, Sean Bailey comes through unofficially 45.14 seconds. Officially, it's now 45.15 for Sean Bailey. Fastest Jamaican this year gets home ahead in this first heat of the men's 400.
On the outside, Anderson, formerly of Vertec, had champ 2020 beaten up by COVID. He looking good in the finish as well. But Sean Bailey, 44.43 this season, beat Kirani James, a gold, silver, bronze medalist at the Olympic Games and the World Champs, early in the season in a season-leading time of 44.43. And yes, Bruce, he's Veronica Campbell's little brother.
So here we go with 250 meters. Demish Gay leading at this point. Sean Bailey, I think a sign of confidence, Hubert, that he rested back, said this is a heat. There's no way that 3 people are going to beat me. I know I can run 44.5 with my eyes almost closed. Demish Gay leading at this stage. And as they approach the line, Bailey 45.15. And in fact, if you look at the difference in effort, out in lane 8, pushing, it was DeAndre Anderson from Clemson University, whereas quite composed Sean Bailey. And the official times.
45.15 for Bailey. Anderson does 45.20. Demish Gay in third, 45.31. Prince, 46.20 in fourth, and Emil Gordon, 48.78 in fifth position.
And in fact, with 5 heats, they're actually going to take the top 4 from each heat. So that's 20 plus 4 by time, 24.
Section 2 coming up. Akeem Bloomfield is not there, and Kiko Morrison is not there also. So Akeem Henry, no Bloomfield, Antonio Watson, Delano Kennedy, Demar Francis, and Najee Mikil also there. 427 is Akeem Henry.
And he is lined up in lane number 2, but I suspect we might introduce from the outside. And here we go.
482 is Najee Mikil from MVP in 7th.
Youngster, 20 years old.
This is Demar Francis.
Goes to Baylor, went to Excess in Jamaica, 20.5 for 200 this year.
This is Delano Kennedy.
A junior top 400-meter runner at Boys Champs this year, making evidence of Edwin Allen being a coach.
In lane 4, Antonio Watson.
World Youth Champion at 400 in 2017, has run 44.7 this season. Breakthrough.
As we said, Bloomfield not there. Should have been in lane 3, but Akeem Henry is in 2.
Akeem Henry from Legacy Athletics, a 24-year-old, trying to help that club build their reputation locally.
Second section of the men's 400 meters. Antonio Watson in lane 4 is rounding into great form. He's improving with every race. Personal best in the 400 and the 200 meters this year. Saw him running a PB 44.75 at the Racers Grand Prix, coming down from 45.78. And he is in fine fettle at the moment. Can do 100, 200, 400. Extremely talented athlete in the second position now. And here we go. clean start at the first time of basking. Delano Kennedy rose well, so too Antonio Watson laying out nicely as they head down the backstretch now. Antonio Watson, middle of the pack there, moving best of all at the moment. Delano Kennedy is on the premises as well, but in the middle of your screen there, it's Antonio Watson, second from right just now, prompting the initiative and taking command and grabbing this one by the scruff of the neck. Antonio Watson springs off the top bend, and he is in command for sure. The battle is on for the minor placings. Antonio Watson is in cruise control mode now, and he will come home quite comfortably. Delano Kennedy comes storming into second. So it's Watson from Kennedy, 46:38 the flash time for Antonio Watson. Officially, it's 46:38. 46:38 for Antonio Watson. Delano Kennedy second, 46:93. And 47:28 in third for DeMar Francis.
Easy for Watson. Sent it to your screen now. In the sky blue to his left is Canadian schoolboy champion. And the speed he has from the 100 and the 200. Take Watson clear. Racer's track club product turns into the straightaway with no one around him and is able to save some energy as he heads to the finish at 46.38.
Well coached, knows that you do the least amount of effort you have to in the heats, especially in a race like the 400 meters, which has a way of building up lactic acid in your muscles. So he's gone to the front. He knew the top four were going to be guaranteed a spot. And there only, 5 spaces starter in this race, so took it easy. Number 532, Antonio Watson, has now become a 400-meter man again. At one point, fancied himself to be a 200-meter runner.
He does 46.38. Does Watson. Delano Kennedy second, 46.93. DeMar Francis in third, 47.28. McKeel in fourth, 48.57. So getting ready for the third section of the 400 meters here. Very quiet stadium. After the 100 meters, a lot of folks have left. And in this one, hopefully they could give the crowd something to cheer. Kamar Davis, Anthony Cox, Raheem Hales, Rashawn Clark is not there. DeAndre Watkin, Malachi Johnson, and Janoy Brown in this one, but no Rashawn Clark from Sweat Track Clubs.
Clearly. The same with Wilson. They both made the team. They both entered the championships and entered both events. But having made the team in the 4 hurdles, said, you know what, the 4x4, call me if you want me.
On your screen there is 642 is Kamar Davis. They're going the other way around, I think. So Watkin is in lane 6. Raheem Hales is in lane 4. Now being introduced to the crowd. Anthony Cox is in 3, represents Adidas. And in lane 2, representing Titans Track Club, Kamar Davis. So Davis, Cox, Hales, Watkin, Johnson, and Brown in this one. 3 races to go before we close out, folks.
Now then, section 3 of 5, men's 400 meters. Davis, Cox, Hales, Watkin, Johnson, and Janoy Brown. The lineup. Again, the top 4 in each heat, plus the next 4 best times to move to the next round. The second position now, and away they go. Clean start once again. Already we see moving up into the thick of things. DeAndre Watkin is right up there, middle of the pack. We find Hales as well, and Cox is trying to stay with the early tempo and grinding to a halt at the moment. Malachi Johnson seems to have had some injury issues. The field reduced, but DeAndre Watkin has set the tempo from the start, and he's still in the ascendancy. as they spring off the top bend now and head for home. It's Watkin on his inside. Raheem Hales comes calling ominously on the inside. Hales from Watkin. And they will come back to the finish in that order. Hales from Watkin. And Johnson came up from minor share as well. 45 or 46.04 for Hales. Watkins second, 46.48. Anthony Cox back in third, 46.71.
Hales didn't hurry there, just took his time for the same reason you've heard, where the qualification from here to the semis is fairly comfortable. And Watkin, last year for Jamaica College, 2 silvers, class 1, 200, 400 from lane number 1, did all the hard work in that wide outside position with Hales, an NCAA 400 finalist last month, slowly, steadily tracking around the turn and turned into the straightaway ahead. Went to Maud McLeod, left Jamaica early, came through the high school system in New York, and now has become a 44.81 man, one of 4 Jamaicans under the qualifying standard, and there is comfortable at 46.04. Was it 45.99 in the end?
So we're at 9:30, 9:31. The adrenaline level falling fast.
46.04 for Hales. Watkin does 46.48 to be second. Cox does 46.71 in third. And Brown 46.92 in fourth. Kamar Davis coming fifth in that one. So we have 2 races to go. Just heard the starter telling the athletes to go behind their blocks. This one has Jarrett, Chambers, Barnes, McDonald, James King, Rotamaya, and no Denrick Luke. So Luke is not there. Rotamaya being introduced, Kingston College athlete, is in lane 7. Malik James King from Titans Track Club is in 6. The MVP athlete in lane 5 is Rasheen McDonald.
He's a national record holder, 43.93. The second fastest Jamaican, 43.94, is Akeem Bloomfield, who is not here this evening.
Zandrian Barnes, the GC Foster, comes out of lane 4.
Manchester High School footballer, 44.90 this season, intercollegiate champion.
This is Shamar Chambers from North Carolina in 3.
Part of the Calabar 4x4 Dream Team, now at North Carolina A&T. St. George's to Calabar to North Carolina A&T.
And Jordan Jarrett from Legacy Athletic in lane 2.
Again, trying to help the Legacy Athletic Club develop. I have to share with you Hubert Lines, Zadrian Barnes, GC Foster Sprint Tech, one of the exciting new talents here. He also broke a record at Velocity Fest and was very excited about that, and then went on to go even faster, going sub 45.
One in New York was sending autographs as well, 45.05.
The second to last race of the evening.
Heat 4 of 5 then. Men's 400 meters. I've got the national record holder, Rasheen McDonald. Zan Barnes is in here as well. Sent on the way now for the business at hand. McDonald is up there quite early. Zandrian Barnes is in business as well. Malik James King is on the premises quite early. And it is Rasheen McDonald looking to go hell for leather in the early stages. And taking up the ascendancy at the moment. Stepping for the initiative now, we have got Malik James King. And Rasheen McDonald is trying to fight back. Zandrian Barnes hasn't gotten into top gear as yet, off the top bed now. Rasheen McDonald, Barnes, King, Zandrian Barnes raises a ruckus late. Can he get by McDonald? No, he can't. 45.55, the flash time. So McDonald, officially 45.56 from Zandrian Barnes in 45.60, and third in 45.94, Malik James King back in third.
Jamaica's proud history in the men's 400 meters consists of 28. Remember, 28 men who have gone sub 45 in history. With 250 meters going now, 150 meters to go. Rasheen McDonald in second. Adrian Barnes all the way back in fourth. They know the top four go through Rotterdam while out in lane 7 is not going to be a factor. And Barnes, with his notorious fast finish, challenging Rasheen McDonald. McDonald decides, my best races have actually been in the heats of some of these races. He said his personal best and Jamaica's national record, 43.93, in the heat of a race all the way back in what, 2015, 8 years ago.
Beijing World Championships. Has had chronic back problems, but the last couple of seasons, some relief has been found.
McDonald 45.56, Barnes 45.60 in second, James King 45.94 in third, Chambers 46.12 in fourth, Rottemeier 47 flat coming fifth. Final race of the evening coming up, but then we're going to show you back a couple of big ones before we leave you tonight.
And of course,
The
James
final
King,
comes up now.
notorious for running the first part of his races very slowly, came into the straightaway in front.
Smith Band, Powell, Francis, Bartley, Henry, and Hanson in this one. Final
In
one.
lane 7, a 46.54 personal best from New Era Track Club. Paul
Hanson
Henry.
is not there, so this is Paul Henry in lane 7. No Hanson.
Personal best 45.17 seconds from Track Kings. Kareem
This is
Bartley.
Kareem Bartley.
Part of big 4x4 teams, mixed and men's
They
teams.
called him Donkey Man before, then
This
the
is
track
Javon
squad
Francis.
Formerly of Calabar set a champ's record 45.00 before leaving Calabar. Now trains and lives overseas.
Javon Powell.
Representing University of Florida, Edwin Allen man at one point, and now actually the University of Florida won NCAAs on the men's side. He was part of the winning 4x4.
And from Manchester High to Jamaica College, this is Malik Smith Band.
Carifta and Champs 200 champion, his brother Fitzroy Dunkley, Olympic silver 4x4 2016. And Javon Paul is the defending champion here, but does not
On your
have
mark.
a qualifying number yet. That's sub 45. 45.02 this season, and for him to be the team, he must be top 3 and under 45 seconds.
So we're up on to the very last race of the day. Fifth and final heat for the men's at 400 meters. Javon Powell, Javon Francis, Kareem Bartley, the top 3. The Young Turk Malik Smith Band. They want to raise a shout as well. Way they go now. Another clean start. And already we look to lanes 4, 5, and 6. Javon Powell, Javon Francis, and Kareem Bartley laying out nicely. Bartley in lane 6. Francis is right up there as well. And Javon Powell is in business quite early as well. Closely contested affair so far. Javon Francis in there. Powell is right up there as well. The tempo should increase now. Tightly contested affair so far. Up the top bend now. Javon Francis. Javon Powell forges into the ascendancy marginally. Francis raises a late ruckus. Javon Powell has enough in reserve to hold off Javon Francis to the finish. 45.72 the flash time for the national champion. Javon Powell, 45.85 for Powell. Francis, 46.01. Bartley back in third, 46.18.
You saw the hug at the end between Powell and Smith Band. Smith Band is going to Florida for college next year, next academic year, and that's the national champion. Was at UTEP this time last year. Coach at that point, Davian Clark, and as Jadon Hibbert passes by, it's Powell who runs his races with patient timing. Second from the right as we look at this, turns into the straightaway. When he straightens up, Edwin Allen to KC to UTEP, now to Florida, just starts to float past the field with Javon Francis, who is celebrating his 10th year as a top international for Jamaica, 400 meters, first and second, Powell and Francis.
So that's it for, I will say, the live races, because as I said, we do have a couple to show you just to wrap up things. We're going to show you about the 400 hurdles, men and women. I'm going to show you about the 100 meters, men and women. Powell, 45.85. Francis, 46.01. Bartley, 46.18. Smith Band, 46.22. And Paul Henry, 46.88. So that's the final race, and everyone gets up in the grandstand and they're off. But we're going to show you now, as I said, the 400 hurdles, men and women, and the 100 meters, men and women.
At this point, Anjanette Knight and Rochelle Clayton zooming away from everyone. And then hurdle number 10. Janine Russell says, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And she leads 4 across the line, so 54.
Here's the men's 40-meter hurdles, and Jackie will hide on the inside in the blue. Defending national champion sets off hard, but down the stretch, his former training partner, Roshan Clark, with 47.85 world junior record and the number 2 time to make a track history.
Rowan Watson in lane 6. He's about third at this point, and he keeps lifting his knees. That's what you tell your athletes to do. New national champion for Jamaica at 21 years old. Remember the name. MVP hug between Natasha Morrison, Michael Campbell, and Ron Watson.
Women's 100 meters, Sharika Jackson, a cut above this field, breaks way after a great start, comes to 10.65. Natasha Morrison and Sasha Lee Forbes fourth, second. Morrison third. They go to the World Champions Budapest in the 100 meters. 10.65, number 6 all time.
Number 5. She's now equal with Marion Jones at 10.65. Just at 10.64, just ahead of them. And a big hug, and then Scotiabank steps up with red roses just before Sharika's birthday. And they celebrate.
It's interesting, because every time we do track and field here at the National Stadium, every day that we leave here, we say, boy, what a day. I didn't finish last night, and I was hearing you guys talking about the 100 meters and what a way to finish. And then tonight, what a way to finish.
Nothing better is 10.65, Neville. And when you look at Sharika Jackson, if she gets the conducive conditions, she says what sounds scary, she's going to go back to the drawing board, fix some issues in the closing stages with her coach, UB. 10.50, 10.49 will be under threat when she gets the right conditions.
I don't know, but started Sprint 2021 partway through that season. First full-time